Okay, hello there, I'm Dennis, and I'm coming to you today from GhostBSD 22.0.20, and it's based on FreeBSD. Today, as true to my word, I installed GhostBSD. I'm keeping GhostBSD, and I actually put it on a more permanent hard drive. Been running it, and today we're going to go through the installation of GhostBSD in a virtual box and give a few recommendations, and then we're going to set up a printer. And I'll be honest, I've never set up a printer as easy as this one was. Let's get started here. Like I said, I got it set up in VirtualBox, and our begin time here is 2:30. The installation at this point is just basically fairly easy. So you're going to select your country and your keyboard type. We're going to go for full disk installation. One of the options I'm going to change here is for my swap size. I want it to be 8 gigabytes. I should have selected my hard drive first. I'm going to select pool name. All that's ready. And here, most important, if you're setting it up in an EFI boot mode, you need to use rEFInd. And that's true for real hardware or VirtualBox. So we'll set up a password. It uses the fish shell, and you just saw all the options that you have if you selected or elect to use a different shell. And you'll notice the VBox editions are installed, so we don't have to modify our desktop. We can just actually drag it where we want it. Go to full screen here, and GhostBSD installs really fast, and you'll see at the end time here just how quickly this went. So we started at 6:30. 2:30, I'm sorry, 6:30. I think I'll keep that wallpaper for a minute. Of course, it'll change when we reboot. What you want to see right here in this window is where it starts unmounting drives. Once it starts unmounting the mount points, you'll see that it's over. The installation will be finished. So it's still mounting and copying, and you see all the OKs at the end of that string. Okay, we see the unmount, so it's within seconds of being finished. From start to finish, 2:35. So a total of 5 minutes from start to finish. Now, first thing you're going to do is do your updates. And there's a bunch of them going to come in. So this is going to take a while. So the installation is over with. We're just going to do the updates, and I'll do that off camera. Now, let's go into setting up a printer. So if you go to your start menu and you type in print, you'll get 3 options there. The first one is the print editor. Type that in again. Print settings. And this is the one we want right here. But if you'll notice, it has no rights. You can't unlock it. You can't add to it. If you go to About, you'll see the name of this program is called System Config Printer. Although there's no documentation to tell you, we're going to open that up with sudo privileges. So the command will be sudo system-config-printer. All right. Now I have a printer hooked up via USB, and it picks that up right here. Picked up my printer the first time. Okay, so it's selected the drivers that it wants us to use. You could provide a PDF file or PPD file or another driver. Again, it says it's a LaserJet 4100. And here we have 2 choices. We can install the drivers, the full set, or a simplified version. and I want the full set. You probably will too. All right, so now we get the change, picked it up and installed it just that quick. We'll change the name of it so we'll know what it is and where it's at. And we're not going to print a test page. Now, here's where you go into your properties and can change all your settings of letter size or paper size, the orientation, your print options, who can print and who cannot print. So I want to hook this thing up wirelessly. So if we go open that back up, you'll see we do not have the wireless option. So let me cancel out of that. Power off. Now here's the problem. It does not have the drivers all the drivers that it needs for HP or Hewlett-Packard printers, HP printers. And so we're going to install them. And in this case, they're called hplip. There are different drivers available like Fumatic, Guten Print, and you may need those depending on your printer, the brand name. But in my case, the hplip drivers will take care of what we need here. So you can see we're getting WebSockets, remote objects. All right. Now, what I like to do is when you get a terminal printout like this, I like to go up to the beginning of it and I copy it. That way, I can go through it at my leisure. I'll go through it first and make sure there's nothing that's going to be totally critical. If there is, I do that. And then the rest of it, I'll go back and determine whether or not it's important or not for my needs. So I'll save that in Featherpad. Clear the screen. All right, let's run that same system config printer again. All right, we're going to go to add. We're going to select our printer, fix it up. And now you can see we have another option beside the USB. That is the right printer. There's the option that we used before, but this time we're going to use the HP Linux imaging and printing hplip. And it picked up the wireless that fast. I did speed through that, but it was incredibly fast. A lot faster than I've seen before. Apply. Do we want to print a test page? Not right now. But you can see the green check there. That indicates that that printer, the USB printer, is the default printer. And I want to change it to the Wi-Fi. So we're going to set it, let's leave that as default. Say OK. Now, you can see the option here, properties, and then in the front of it, it says test page. And I wish I would have moved that little window out of the way, because you can see right behind it where it's going through the stages of printing. And it did print. Worked just fine. Easiest I've ever installed a printer in my life, I believe. And I didn't have to, if you notice, we did not have to start the cup service. It apparently was already there. Everything was set up. I went to the Featherpad here and selected the print option. Control P would do it. And here you can go through and select your paper size, your color, output color, and all that stuff. And again, here you can select how many copies you want. You can say collate it so it comes in order. And I believe that's going to do it for this video. I've got some more stuff coming. I've learned quite a bit about GhostBSD here recently. And like I said, I've learned quite a bit of other stuff. I've really had no problems with this. This has been so easy to set up. And if you want to try BSD, I recommend that you try GhostBSD at least first. And I've looked at and lived in and worked around a lot of the GhostBSDs, BSDs, FreeBSD, GhostBSD, Dragonfly BSD, OpenBSD, NetBSD, and Solo BSD. And I feel like I'm still forgetting something. And I'll be back. We're going to keep this video short, and there'll be another tip coming up soon. Thanks so much for watching. I'll catch you on another video. Peace out, guys. Bye.